That's important. And it takes time. You got to remember, it all takes time. So time is the thing. So just to review, we're formulating a goal, a SMART goal based on career research. So we've looked at some of the roles. We're thinking about ourselves. What's an entry-level role that we're interested in? Why are we, what are we leaning towards in terms of feeling? Are we leaning towards IT, data, cybersecurity, networks, data analysis, some sort of IT related or technical role? How are we going to measure it? So these are things that are going to be like check marks. Do I need to get my certification, but I also need this. And it's okay to have I just want to become more familiar too. If you want to become more familiar, but you're not sure, we're basically designing a mini learning plan. All right. Think about it that way. Then achievable. So what skills and knowledge do you have and what skills do you need to learn to be ready? So the best way to answer this question, I know that's like a long sentence about this question. When I think of an achievable goal, what makes it this achievable to you? Is it because you're in a class? Is it because you work with tech in your job in the day? Is it what factor of this goal makes it something that's not like a mystery? That's the achievable part. How can you do it? Basically, how can you do the goal? So let's say I want to get into IT support and I want more hands-on experiences. Achievable. I will look for opportunities to practice on hands-on tech labs. You could do that. That could be, I will learn a specific, let's think, troubleshooting technology is can be pretty general in terms, you could do the CompTIA A, that's definitely complete CompTIA A is definitely measurable, as a goal. Complete CompTIA A by fall of next year, right? Maybe fall, by end of summer 2025. You want to get it done by 2020. You're going to get all your tests done by summer of 2025. And I think that's that you could leave it at that and we could kind of frame it out like that. You could set some goals in there. And then basically here, you're going to identify, maybe identify skills. And here you want to maybe make a timeline, but we don't have to do that yet. You don't have to do that yet. This is just framing the goal. You probably all have a timeline in your mind, hopefully. Does everyone have some sort of timeline when they want all this to end and move on to something new? It's an important question, right? Because you don't want it to last forever. You don't want your studying to go to waste either. So relevant. This is an important one. So how does this role in your goal align with your long-term career goals? So I'm in IT, I'm doing hands-on, I'm looking for internships. I'm telling myself I want to be done with the CompTIA A at the end of the summer. Why do I want to be done by the end of the summer? So I'm not doing CompTIA A for 3 years, basically, right? I want to have after CompTIA A, I want to begin applying for jobs, for specific jobs. If I don't feel confident yet, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't feel confident yet. And experiences, right? Also, you want to, work on your personal brand, resume, and experience level. So you're giving yourself this window of time, right? Basically, this is important because I need this time to work on what's important to me. You need time. We have busy lives, and thank you for the little extra time here. but you need to make time. You know, and you guys have been doing great coming to class. You're making all this time. Don't let it go to waste. So you got to set a goal for when it starts, it ends, and goes on to the next thing. So the next thing is going to be that you maybe want to apply for jobs. And, you know, if it applies to your regular job, is maybe I have the opportunity to move up in my organization. You might have that. So that's two different benefits. I have the opportunity, maybe if I move up at my work, potentially, if I work at a place, it's giving me opportunities, or I want to start applying for specific things. All right. Time bound. So here's what you want to do. I would say make it like at least not, I would like at least 6 months to a year. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I heard an email yesterday. This one student from my group last year started around the same time. He still hadn't used his voucher yet. You know what I mean? He put it off. You know, I won't say he was the best at studying. He wasn't, but you guys are pretty motivated. The only way you're going to lose motivation and not use your vouchers, you guys have a good opportunity. CompTIA is not cheap. It's not cheap. It's like $400. By the end of the day, it's like $500. This class alone is not like cheap. So you got to like think about the value and how you're going to get out of what you're putting yourself into. You know, so if you're in a class for 2 months and you know the material, you have to set a goal for when you're going to take, because the takeaway is passing the exam. You know what I mean? So you maybe pass Core 1 by August, we'll say, right? Pass Core 2 by October. I would say that's a reasonable goal. Once you get in, like, say you were finishing up, say, you know, we're finishing this in near the middle of December. December 17th, I think, is our last class. So hopefully you're going to be scheduling sometime in February to take that Core 1, mid-February or March. And then you got to take the Core 1. Definitely recommend taking each one individually, but you know, I'll put the times we have here. So like, you know, by February would be that goal. And I'd say this one, maybe April, because you're going to want to give yourself a month maybe to prep. But once you give yourself a month to prep, remember that's time. You got to make it useful and you're no longer in the class. You're going to have access to the materials though. So in the, you know, gain practical hands-on experience. That's kind of a passing the test kind of time-bound part of the goal. I definitely would set that for yourself because I think that's something realistic to you. I mean, you could also have something else in there if you wanted to, but I think that's a good goal. And it's important for you now that you're halfway through the first part of this course to start thinking about that, right? Don't let it escape you. Yeah.
I got a question.
Yep.
Like, if you don't pass the first time, you can do one more.
Yep.
It's one more time.
I think it's one more.
Okay.
I think so. Yep. But that's good. I mean, you're going to learn a lot when you, I know it doesn't sound great, but you're going to learn so much when you fail, if you fail. Like you learn a lot from what, you're going to learn from the experience and you're going to learn from the ones you got right and wrong. And then you're going to be able to go back and you're going to have a level of confidence on the ones that you got right. That's a big thing too.
So do they show the ones that, oh, okay, that's great.
They tell you what you got wrong. So the feedback that I've gotten from the most recent students who've done it recently is that, you know, that's why I'm focusing on the lesson content and the vocab, because there's not as many PBQs. So you want to cover the PBQs in labs and know the content as they apply to the lessons. But I definitely feel like if you blew away the questions and then you screwed up a little bit on a PBQ, you could still be okay. You know what I mean? Like that's your room for error, where like I feel like it's hard to know what PBQ you're going to get because they change them up a little bit. And you get multiple. I think you get like 2 PBQs per test. So, and they'll change them up. So it's the most regular variable is the questions. All right, so let's try to write the goal, and this is the final step of the day. So this goal is kind of a 6 month to 1 year goal. So I'll actually literally copy and paste. Actually, I'll copy and paste the second one, probably fits that goal better. I gave 3 options. One is, this is kind of acquiring skills and certifications for a role. This one is to apply for jobs having met the requirements of a certification. And then this one is to be job ready based on the cert. So like they all kind of say the same thing in different ways. I'm going to take this one, and you can do the same thing. Paste it here, and we're going to draft a SMART goal. So by the end of this year, and then I would put, maybe it's, we're in, what month are we now? November. So maybe October, I would say November 2025, I will apply for entry-level IT support roles, having met the requirements of, and here's the thing you need to remember too. This is called IT Foundations course. All right. We do the CompTIA A. You can put this course on your resume as a course separate than the CompTIA A. Just so you know, because CompTIA A has its own training too. So I'm training you for the CompTIA A, but you can list it as an IT support course with the result being the CompTIA A. You know what I mean? Like, and that's equivalent as like, say you took, you're not getting college credit, but you're getting life credit, which some places take, and you're also getting a number of hours working in a field, which some people take, and it's also probably has more credibility than like a Coursera course. You took it in person, you're doing this prep, and I would say, and CompTIA A+ certification. So you can list those as 2 separate things. Yep.
A question about, there's something like I think Google IT support. They say now that they kind of put them together. Like if you do the CompTIA,
yep,
and you pass it, you also can also get their certification, and at the same time they're just.
The Google one is definitely easier than CompTIA.
Okay.
And the industry knows that too, just so you know. I would say just be careful of the amount of time. Like, if you feel like CompTIA is definitely a good one to focus on if you've started it. The Google one you might even be able to do on your own, but if it's part of the program and they add it on, it's good, right? Take advantage of it, especially if you have someone help facilitate it. And I think I know the guy who does it. He's awesome. Yeah, I think do it if you have the time. It's the challenge is the time. It's probably a similar set of skills, but I would say the CompTIA A is probably more challenging in terms of like preparing you on the breadth of knowledge. Like that's what the CompTIA A kind of like beats some of these out. It's like it's really broad. There's a lot there, and a lot of things that you can say, like on that document around the digital portfolio. There's a lot there that you can say now that you're learning, and it can be a little overwhelming too. So getting experience in IT. Let me just finish this one sentence here. Each month I'll study. Each month I'll study. How many hours we study? Well, you have your classes, 2, 4, 6, 8. And let's say you study an extra 2 hours a week, 16. You can say 16 hours for the certification, and then maybe 8 hours after the program's over. Right? Hopefully, just to kind of till November or whatever, till you pass, right? So there's a goal, and then once you get that goal, you can submit, And I'm going to select all the cars. All right, maybe.